Well, welcome. Welcome to the show. It is good to see you. Uh, hey, Rerun, good to have you on here with us. Right now, it's sort of a slow night. I don't know. I know that Max, he wasn't able to make it tonight. Anyone else that might want to come on, I've put the link up. You're certainly welcome. I'm really excited. I don't know if you caught that the theme from the countdown, but it was a lot of star pictures and a lot of moon pictures. I took these at different times, just different places that I've been, and I'm always amazed at the beauty of the stars and the moon. And that's what's exciting about tonight. So after this show and a quick bite to eat, then I'm going to drive over to my nephew's farm. There's a place back in the back of the farm that has a lot of history, but it's just a perfect hill that gives you a great view of the sky. And my goal tonight is a phenomenon that doesn't happen often. You may have heard of supermoons. Supermoons are when the moon is the closest to the earth. It's got an elliptical orbit. So when it gets close to the earth, it's called a supermoon. And with a supermoon, it's somewhat bigger, but with the atmospherics, it looks like it's a whole lot bigger. It's a lot brighter, and it's pretty exciting to see. Well, that's one type of moon. And then there's another type of moon called a blue moon. And maybe you've heard, or maybe you said, once in a blue moon. And I never really knew what a blue moon was. I thought it was a blue colored blue moon. That's not it at all. There's two different types of blue moons. One is a calendar blue moon, and a calendar blue moon is when there is two full moons in a month. And that doesn't happen often. The moon rotates around the earth every 29 days in a fraction. So it catches up with itself, and some months are two full moons in that month. The second full moon is called a blue moon. And then the other type of blue moon is a astrological blue moon, and that just means that the same way as the moon is rotating around the earth every 29 point something days. Some seasons, every season typically will have three full moons in it. Some seasons, spring, summer, fall, winter, will actually have four full moons, and the fourth full moon is called a blue moon. And that's what's happening tonight. And over the next tonight through Wednesday, the moon is going to be considered what they call a super blue moon. So it's close to the earth, it should be big, and then it's also a full moon. And so tonight I'm going up on that hill and hope to get some video and some photos of the moon, and excited about seeing that. And then and that sort of leads me up to, in a couple of weeks, again, when I go to the Great Sand Dunes National Park in southern Colorado. And that Great Sand Dunes National Park, one of 4 national parks in the state of Colorado. And with it, it's the tallest sand dunes in North America. Crazy to have it in the center of the country, no beaches other than the dunes themselves. The other interesting part of the Great Sand Dunes is it becomes a great big playground. People take sandboards, they walk up the dunes, and they ride the sandboards down. There's a creek, actually 2 creeks, that's part of the ecosystem that makes the dunes what they are. And one of the creeks runs in front of it, and you have to, in the spring and summer, you walk across that creek. It's not very big. It's wide. It's just not very deep. When Rick and I did it, it was probably maybe 4 inches deep, maybe 6 in some places where there was a puddle. But there's an interesting thing with it. It's called what's it called? They're tides. In these tides, what happens is that the snow melt from the mountains come down to feed this creek. And the wind creates these little ridges in the sand. And so these are, sometimes they're called anti-dunes, and they're like little dams, and the water flows over them, and the water fills them up, and then the water pressure gets so great that it ruptures the dam, and the water spills out. And in the height of the season, the waves, they said, can be 2 feet tall as they come through there. When we were there, you could see the waves, you could see the ripples, but the waves were more like maybe 4, 5, 6 inches. They weren't that big, but they were noticeable that you saw them come through. So you have the water that's bringing down the sand, it deposits it, and also the water seeps down through the sand and feeds the big aquifer that runs under that place. And then the wind picks it up, and it blows the sand back up onto the dunes. And so all of this nature working together create these tall sand dunes, and tallest in North America. So my goal is to go and climb. I'm not sure if I'm going to do, there's 2 tall dunes there. One is called High Dune, and the other is called Star Dune. Star Dune is the tallest, and I'm hoping to maybe climb to the top of Star Dune and set up my camera. And from there, I want to do 3 things. I want to get a sunset over this dark sky area because there's no light pollution in the area. And then I want to get the Milky Way, and it's the end of the season. The Milky Way season runs from about March until October. And then the Milky Way is below the horizon. So in North America, in the Northern Hemisphere, we really don't see it again until the next March. And then it starts to raise up, and through the season, it comes up. And so I'm planning on this for next spring. I want to get a panorama of the whole arch of the Milky Way and see how I can do that. But for now, these are great opportunities to learn and still get some pretty sights that I can share with you. But after the Milky Way and the sunrise and sunset at the Great Sand Dunes, then I plan to drive another 220 miles on over to New Mexico to Cacho Canyon. And Cacho Canyon is an amazing place. Hey, Bika, I'm just rambling. So if you want to come on here and bail me out, I would appreciate it. The Cacho Canyon is a site where ancient pueblos built these huge structures in the canyon. And so inside the canyon, there is these, what they call the great houses. And these great houses will have hundreds of rooms in them. And they started building them, I think, around 800 AD, and it lasted till about 1200 AD. And when mysteriously they just moved away, and they sealed up some of the buildings, and they just moved away. But these buildings were built along the patterns of the sun and the moon. So the edges of these buildings, and there's like 5 great buildings that are about 15 miles apart. And so, and there's mesas in between them. So there's no line of sight between these buildings, but they're all built on this line where the equinox of the sun, as it comes over, it comes across the wall, one of the walls of these buildings, and each one of them is lined up that way. And then at the solstice, it will hit a certain spot, and in the summer solstice and the winter solstice, it hits the other spot. So these buildings are lined up that way to the pattern of the sun. And that's interesting enough. But as well, besides the sun is the moon. And as I'm studying this, what I've learned is that the moon, every 19 and a half years, it shifts each year. It shifts. Oh, well, Vika's making soap. Good for you. Uh, that's an art that I need to learn about, and I'll tell you more about that from Nicole Hikes a Lot here in just a little bit. But these the moon as it moves, there's one on the side, or there's a petroglyph on the side of one of the mountains, and it has 18 and a half circles in this petroglyph, and there's rocks that sit in front of it, and these rocks have an opening. And so again, at the equinox and at the solstices of the sun, it will shine through that crack in those rocks, and at the equinox it cuts that spiral in half, and at the winter solstice it hits one edge of the spiral, and at summer solstice it hits the other edge of the spiral. So tell me they didn't know what they were doing. They were brilliant people. Again, 800 to 1200 AD. And so here they are. And then again, on this particular petroglyph, on this particular calendar that they created, the moon does the same thing. Each year, the moon will come through and it will strike one of those circles. So for 9.25 years, it goes across one way, and then 9.25 years, it comes back to the beginning. So I mean, it's fascinating to learn how these things were. And again, this was over generations. It had to be generations that built these things in order to study how the sun and the moon moved. So I think it's fitting to go there and try to get some night photography, and it's going to be a new moon while I'm there, so there will be no moonlight. And it's supposed, right now it's showing very clear skies, so I'm really optimistic to get there. And I would love to get the late season Milky Way coming up across the backdrop of one of those houses, one of those buildings that they built. That's my plan. So tonight I'll be out for a little bit, getting some pictures of the super blue moon. Now, are any of y'all planning on trying to see this thing? Because it should be, if you've got clear skies, you should see it. Hey Tony, good to see you, man. Good to have you here again. If you get the chance and pop on, I'm just sort of beating my gums. So talking about catching this super blue moon, and where you're at there in Washington, you should really be able to see it if you've got good weather. Hopefully you do. And would love to find out how everyone sees it. From Bika in North Carolina on the East Coast, you got Tony in Washington State on the West Coast. I fully understand Tony's not set up yet, so he's working on it, and I'm always amazed of how he can set up his system, and to do that. My brother that lives in Arkansas, he has his little farm there. That's the place where I took the pictures of the solar eclipse last summer or last April, and so he uses a Starlink for his internet, and it works really well. So, but here even in Southeast Kansas, I've got pretty good internet service providers. They're really good, and I was surprised when I got here. But yeah, would love to hear what you guys' plans are. I am trying to come up with some ideas, to be honest, of some videos. Got these coming up, but one of my brothers, he made a suggestion that I'm really thinking about, but it's going to involve a big undertaking. He he was suggesting that I start doing video books. Hey, well, it makes you wonder what's going on through their thoughts. Certainly not primitive. No, they weren't primitive. Um, so yeah, and it's supposed to be clear there in Alabama. My brother's online here. James Paul is on with me, and it's good to hear him. But oh, the coyotes, they're more afraid of you than you are of them, brother. So just sort of bark back at them and they'll run away. And if they don't, if you pet them on the belly, they really like that. So you can just scratch them on the belly. They won't mind. And let's see. My other brother, he was suggesting this video book. And if I did that, it's going to take a lot more work because when I do a video, usually I just walk and it makes itself as I'm getting some views and sharing what I think I enjoy. But to create a video book, you would have to tell a bigger story. And I love telling stories, but it would take a lot more effort. So I would probably end up doing fewer videos in the year, because right now I'm trying to do one a week. That might turn into like one a month. So I don't know what you think about that. I'd love to hear from you. 3,300 lightning strikes at camp last night. Oh, this last trip. That's crazy. There's the other thing for tonight. We're catching the tail end of a meteor shower from a comet. Tony talked about this the last time I watched one of his. Now, I didn't even recognize Tony in his last couple of videos because he had shaved. I don't think I'd ever seen him without a beard. Hey, DJ, good to have you here. Good to have you with us tonight. Love to hear what you got going too. So just sort of let us know. But my nephew's farm, he was telling me yesterday that there's some old structures there. There's some old prairie soddies where they would take and they would build a couple of walls with the native limestone that's all through this area. But then they would cover the roof with sod. They'd cover the sides in sod. And there's a couple of those still out there on his land. So I need to go out there and do a historic walk across his land. That would be that may be one of the first video books that I do. Well, DJ, if you want to come on, I've got the link out there. I can share it again. You can come on here and join and tell us all about what you got going on your channel. Here's the link. And then people wouldn't just have to listen to me yapping as I go through. But I am, I'm enjoying learning more about how to tell a better story with photography and videos. Just found a new channel of a guy, John Rutter. It's John Rutter Photography. He lives in Australia, and he does a lot of Milky Way video and astrophotography and stuff. Hey, John, I saw where you gave me that shot with Nicole saying that she needs to teach me her secrets. But you're right. I want to learn from her. I love Nicole hikes a lot. She does a great job with her photography, and she does a lot on Instagram. You really ought to check her out. But one of the things she is a master of is catching the reflections in the mountains where there's a lake, and then you get the mountain, and the mountain is also reflected in the lake, and it looks like a reverse of it. And it's just beautiful. She does a great job. Her and her husband, Tim, and I'm hoping to do a hike over in Moab, Utah in November. And I've been wanting to go there for 3 or 4 years. And she and I and her husband Tim, the three of us have been planning on this, and it seems like every year something happens. But I'm hoping that this year will be the year that we can go. Tim is a great guy, and I enjoy being with him. He's hilarious. I'm not sure he knows just how funny he really is. Yeah, John, I did enjoy that. It was funny. It was good. Cool Quest is in the house. Good to see you guys. I have been seeing a lot of Subarus that every time I see one, I think of you guys. So drying out all your gear from the storms. Tony, I don't know if you saw that earlier, but Tony said that they had what was it? I mean, look up this. 3,300 lightning strikes at camp last night. That is amazing. Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while, guys. We got to get together again too. And I need to get up to Michigan. That's still one of my goals would be to hike with y'all. I think that would just be a blast to be able to hike with you. So maybe that's a goal for next year too. We'll see how next year's going to go. Right now, I am still planning and working toward the Camino de Santiago in Spain. I'm wanting to go. It's a 550-mile hike from southern France over the Pyrenees, 500 miles across Spain to Santiago, and then go from Santiago about another 50 kilometers to the Finisterre. And the Finisterre is what was known as the end of the world back in those days. But yeah, that's my goal. I've been wanting to do this since 2000, and I'm sorry, not 2000. That was another mess. Not 2020. I've been wanting to do it, and then COVID came in and blocked me out of it. Yeah, 2001 really was. That was another time the world turned upside down. So, yeah. Well, the cool team, they just are pretty awesome and hilarious and fun to listen to. So, guys, put your channel up there. If you type in Monk, I'm hoping that the Nightbot will pick you up and share your channel links. So just type in Monk. I'll show you. See if I can do this, and maybe it'll do it. I tried it earlier and it worked. There you go. There you go. Yeah, there it is. There they are. There's Cool Quest. So Nightbot is deciding to work with me for a change. Let me see. So summer it's later than we would think. Summer will be coming to an end pretty quickly. The Trey Endermark interest also Trey Endermark interested in your channel. He said he was addicted to photography too, but he's not too active at the present. Said it could get expensive. Yes, it can get very expensive. It's crazy. I've got one lens. It was one of the first lenses that I bought. It was a Tamron 18 millimeter to 300 millimeter zoom, and it just quit working. It wouldn't focus. It just quit working. So I sent that in today to get it fixed, and I have no idea what it's going to cost me. It's probably going to be expensive. And then I have another Tamron that's it's a 28 to 200 millimeter zoom. I really like it. It's almost my favorite lens. I just keep it on my camera all the time. And I can do a lot with it, as far as reaching out and getting things or bringing it in. His name is Uno Dos Tres. Uno Dos Tres. Okay. 1, 2, 3. I gotta, John, if you could send me, I'm going to see if I can find his channel. Does he have a channel? See if I can find it, and then I will see if I can connect with him. That would be fun. Dos. If my fingers can work. Well, I don't find it. Oh, looky here. I got company. I knew somebody was going to get tired of me just jaw jacking because here you are. Thank you. And we're streaming this time. It's working. So that's exciting to be able to actually be on the air with you. Because the last time, for some reason, that was when all the internet was having trouble, and we went for an hour and didn't get anything out. So, but I think Vika's working on it. I know she's up here. Facebook and Instagram. Okay, I'll look them up, John. Let me start with Instagram.
And, I'm getting some feedback.
Are you? Do you have YouTube on, or you got? What I found, if I have YouTube on, it will feedback, and it's terrible.
Let me check something. I don't have anything on.
Okay.
Let's see. I might need to leave and come back and see what's going on.
Okay. Well, if you do, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Hang on a minute.
Well, she'll be right back. It sounds good there. Good. I'm glad, because sometimes I don't hear it, and it gets bad. He has a YouTube channel. Don't remember his channel. Okay, I'm looking there now. Well, there's a personal blog. No, that's well, John. If you get a hold of him, and you could shoot him my email or anything, I don't mind, and I can try to connect with him. There's Bika again. Is that better?
Yeah, I'm on my phone now.
Oh, all right.
I was on my laptop before, but now I'm on my phone. I don't know why the laptop was doing that. That was annoying. I was hearing you talking then, and I don't know if it was something you said previously, but you had two voices at me at the same time.
Oh, that's no fun. That's no fun.
So I'll try to do this, but I can't see the comments. That's the only thing.
Well, I'll try to keep up with them and share. Whoop! I lost you. She'll be back in a second. She'll be back. I hope. I lost her. She touched something. There she comes. Okay.
All right. I'm not going to touch any more buttons.
We can keep doing this. We can keep doing this. How are you
Oh
doing?
my goodness. Doing fairly well. Yeah.
Okay.
I was just it's been an exciting day. I was just making some soap for to use as wedding favors for my niece's wedding.
Oh, okay.
I make a honey and oats soap. It's
Oh,
really smells really good and
oh.
really good
Honey and
for
oat.
you. Yeah,
That
honey and
sounds good.
oats. And I went to Bass Pro Shop today and bought me some snake boots.
Oh, you
'Cause,
did?
yeah, because we're getting ready for gearing up for deer season. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Now, do you have a fixed blind, or do you guys? Where do you go?
no, yeah, it's a fixed blind.
Okay.
Yeah, and we went down there the other day. You know, we just got finished with Tropical Storm Debbie come through here, and
Yeah.
so we walked down there the other day just to check out the stands and make sure everything was okay. And of course it was swampy and there was water all over the place. But um, oh my goodness, we just about got carried away by humongous mosquitoes.
Oh, no kidding.
They swarmed us, and I wish I could show you a picture. I took a picture of the back of my husband's pants because he was wearing blue jeans and they couldn't bite through that, so he was just letting them swarm on that. But and
Huh.
we forgot to take any mosquito repellent, and it was horrible. We
Really?
like not to got out of there. But we did make it down there and checked on the stands, and they were fine. And so, but the mosquitoes are horrible here now because there's so much water around in the heat and
Oh,
everything.
storm.
Yeah.
How much rain did you get? You
Oh,
get a ton?
I don't even know. The river close by here is cresting today, and several roads are closed. And but I'm not even sure how much water we got. But it was like we didn't get as much as north of us. We just happened to be in a little area that had some dry come in, so we didn't
Oh,
get as much as up north. So that was
okay.
good. But all the rain that was up north came down the river, so
Of
it
course.
flooded pretty bad.
Wow. Well, when I went out to Colorado last week, and then I stopped at a state park out in western Kansas, and was going to get some Milky Way photos, and the mosquitoes there ate me up, and I knew it was bad because I kept taking my hat off and I kept swatting them. I felt like an
Yeah,
old horse with its tail,
yeah.
swatting them. And so then, oh, there's Tony. He's coming up. So then I looked at my back when I got.
All right.
It's growing back out again. I see that the beard's coming back out again, Tony.
You know, it's off and on. I just had to get my tarps up to dry them out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, everything else laying on the ground.
Vic, I don't know if you saw that. Tony said that you had 3,300.
Yep, 3,300 lightning strikes over Saturday and Sunday night.
Wow.
So between you guys, you could send some rain here. Just don't send that kind of.
Well, I'll send you all of it. I have no idea what we got, but all I know is it was blowing our tarps down. Our hammocks were soaked underneath of them. It was interesting.
Wow.
Well, Dan, that would have made some really good photos, wouldn't it? They got some.
Yeah, if you had time to take the camera out of the bag when you're trying to hang your tarps back up.
True. Oh, me.
I did get some good footage while I was up there, just not during the storms. The first night, I just sat in my chair and watched it.
Yeah.
I mean,
crazy.
It was and when we canoed out today, there were fires burning in the hills. from the
Oh,
lightning.
yeah.
Whoops. I'm trying to write a note back to John real quick.
Sorry, I'm on my phone. My stabilization is not working at all.
Huh.
Could have been the fact it was in my chair, and I got up in the morning, it was full of water.
That might have something to do with it.
Well, after we went to bed, the tarp came down again, so everything under our camp area was just saturated.
Good grief. I don't miss let's see, Tresmo. I don't miss not having or being out in the rain. Ah, there he is.
I don't mind it if it's not coming in sideways.
What? Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. There's nothing much better than being in an RV and it raining and just go to sleep.
I'm usually outside in my pop-up right here.
Okay.
Even during the big storms, I don't care. It's got walls though. It keeps it from coming in sideways.
Right.
Hopefully, my quilt and sleeping bag dry out pretty soon, so I can set up my hammock stand under here and sleep out here tonight.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah, I don't like sleeping inside much.
So what is your background on that you really like being outside so much?
I've spent most of my life outside. When I was young, it was hunting, fishing, constantly, camping. That's just what we did.
Yeah. And Bika, you like to hunt, but you like to be inside.
Oh yeah.
It's hard to hunt from inside.
we hunt and we fish and all that too, you know.
Yeah.
And I have a background of being outside. My dad, I mean, he wandered around in the woods all the time and would always take us out with him, and we did a lot of camping.
That's the way our dad was too. I remember every Sunday, it seemed like, I may be just remembering this, but every Sunday after church, we'd come home and he'd eat lunch, and then we would head out, to the woods. And
that's great.
6 boys and dad, and so we all sort of like a duck and its ducklings.
I don't think my dad would ever once take all 6 of us boys out on a trip. I don't think that's a safe option.
I think Dad was sort of hoping that he might cull the herd a little bit.
Yeah,
he might lose a few of us.
Yeah, we'd be fighting in no time flat, especially when we're out mushroom hunting or something.
Yeah. Hey, I want to throw this one up here. This is Trez. Now this guy, John, senior hiker, just turned me on to him, and he just came up on the channel. So yeah, and hey
Trez, welcome.
I just got subscribed.
Yeah, I can't see chat either.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, do you see
that's
it?
Because I'm on my phone.
Do y'all see it when I pop it up on the screen?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
This is my brother, and James Paul. He's talking about Dad hoping that we wouldn't all come back.
Well, that's always an option too.
Oh me. So yeah, that was we had a good time growing up, but like you guys, we were out. We grew up in the sticks, and
yeah, we
were going all.
We weren't welcome in the house as much as you would think.
Well, we always had to take our shoes off, and oftentimes, depending on how filthy we were, Mom would hose us down with a
outside. Yep. Yeah. Luckily, we had a washroom on the back, so we could all come in the back door, and the bathroom was right across the hall. And then you'd have to strip down in the washroom and Go take a shower.
Return. Right.
Yeah.
We had an interesting setup because when my dad retired from the Navy, we moved back to the farm and he got into hog farming. And our setup was there was a small house already on the farm. And
I put the shower in it.
we took a trailer and attached to the back of the house. So it was rigged up and put a hallway in between to connect them. But between the trailer and the house was a space. And my dad set up a water hose there where he could go in between the shower and the house and hose off and everything you get clean. So that worked out for him. That was a rig.
Well, how many pigs did y'all have, Becca?
Oh, it wasn't a whole lot. We probably had maybe 10 or 12 at a time.
That's not a bad number.
Yeah.
That's manageable.
It's because it was just him. My brother wasn't around a lot to help him out, so it was just him. But I tell you what, when he went out in the woods, he could tell you the name of every tree, every flower, and I wish I'd have paid attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's still times I'll be hiking around out there and not know what it's called.
Yeah.
And it's weird because I'm pretty good at that. my parents didn't teach me that. I spent a lot of time alone in the woods. Every once in a while up in the mountains I'd run into somebody and we go on a lot of hikes together and stuff like that. You meet somebody that's like-minded, that's what you do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. It's very nice and it still is. It seems to be, for the most part. I had some friends over last night and they were asking me about, do I ever get scared out on the trail? I said, no, I don't.
That's driving through a town or something like that. Now I'm scared.
Now that's a different story. Yeah.
I have that. I teach a women's Sunday school class and they're always amazed. Aren't you afraid? Aren't you afraid something's going to get you? And we worry about you when you're out there and all that. And I said, no, I'll be all right. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
Well, a lot of the guys I go with carry a powder gun, and they're like, why don't you ever carry anything like that? And it's like, I'm never unarmed.
Yeah.
Just because I don't bring a firearm doesn't mean I'm not unarmed.
Right.
I think I told y'all about my brother. We were out we were in Wyoming, and I didn't know that we were in grizzly country until I talked to one of the rangers. He said, "Oh yeah, he said, actually a grizzly went right between you guys' tent last night." He showed me the
paw marks, yeah.
The paw marks, the prints. And so I told my brother, I said, we need to be careful. We're in grizzly country. And he said, well, it's no problem. I'm packing. I said, really? I didn't know that. What are you carrying?
And what was he packing? Because it takes a pretty big gun to bring down.
Yeah, you got to kind of scare them.
And I said a 380. It's not even gonna. It's just gonna make him mad.
Yeah, that's gonna bounce.
He said, "Well, I'm not shooting the bear. Outrun you. So I'm gonna just pop you in the knee, and then I can get away from him." So again,
I think that's why my brothers won't go camping with me anymore.
Oh, we have a lot of fun together, but man.
Oh, sunshine, you just want to get in the way, don't you, baby? Yeah.
Don't want to get seen.
Just want to show off that backside for everybody.
Yeah. All right. You gotta get down, okay? You gotta get in.
Like Al Chafe, he likes to have his cat show up, and she got to get into there.
Yeah.
Oh, me. There we are. We reset.
You got hanger on me.
I think we reset every once in a while. So.
Yeah, I know. I probably do because of Starlink.
Oh, okay. Okay.
My cell signal isn't that good here.
So are you in Washington?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm in Yelm, Washington right now at a friend's place.
Yeah, that's nice.
Hey,
Very nice.
I can't see the chat. Is Sandy in the chat?
I haven't seen Sandy yet.
Oh, I
No,
love that
we got-
woman.
Yeah, she's a good one.
She's a sweet lady.
We got Cool Quest. We got Senior Hiker. After the Hike podcast. And who else? We've got Hiking with Jackie Boy, got Kevin, got Trace, Endermark, and my brother, James Paul. James Paul was he was one of the good ones. We all had the same teacher, and she was my 4th, 5th, and 6th grade teacher, and she had taught all 5 of my older brothers.
Oh, that's gutsy.
Bless her heart.
It was good. and she would start in, she'd start yelling at me, and she'd say, "Why can't you be like Roger, Ricky, James Paul? Why do you have to be like Randy and Mickey?" Because it was every other one. And so
yeah.
I just told her we were just misunderstood. If she knew the other 3, she really knew.
Right.
Oh goodness. Well, that's a small country school. My graduating class.
We had a couple teachers that combined with us, but not very many.
Yeah. Oh, this was when I started at this little school. I think it went through the 7th grade, and maybe in the 3rd grade they added junior high, and then when I was in the 7th grade, I think is when they added the high school. So same school and we didn't have kindergarten. This is Alabama. We started at 1st grade when we were 12 years old. So that's the way we did it.
Wow.
No, we weren't. We started at 6.
Making a short trip when you start at 12.
How's my book doing? John's asking me about my book. It's still doing okay. I get a little stipend from it a couple of times a year. And
sorry about the lighting. My tarp fell.
Oh no.
It's an old tarp, so the corners kind of pull off once in a while.
Yeah. Is it windy there?
It was a little bit ago.
Okay, that's when it pulled off. Oh.
Wrong button.
Well, I'm going to buy, I think, a portable blind.
That would be cool.
4
Okay.
windows, and I'm not going to use it for hunting. I want it for taking pictures.
Yeah.
But,
Well, they make a blind now that you can see out, but nothing can see in.
Yeah.
I think that's cool.
That's
I mean,
you could.
It just looks open all around you, but nothing can see in.
That's a pretty good
this
match.
like that, and then it's got windows that sort of go the whole length of each of the sides, and you can pull the window down and stick your lens out. And I guess you could use your gun, but I'll be sticking a lens out of it.
Yeah.
One person's gun is another's. We don't all shoot things the same way.
I don't have to clean mine. That's the big advantage.
Just got to make sure it's clean. I'm kind of that way anymore too. I love bringing my good camera with me, but I don't use it a whole lot.
Yeah.
The stabilization isn't the best because it's old. So most of the time I just bring the old GoPro.
and they do great.
Yeah.
They do great.
But if I'm doing a still or something like that, oh yeah, I want my Canon.
Yep, yep, yep. Yep.
But just as much as deer hunting, I love sitting up there and seeing all the other wildlife because we see turkeys. I've seen bobcats and foxes and raccoons, and every once in a long while I'll see a bear, but not very often.
Oh,
But
wow.
especially since it's growing up so much around here.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we
Yeah,
got.
there went another steak. That's all right. I think they're dry. There's enough wind. It's in the 70s here, so
It's starting to dry it out. That's a good
yeah.
thing. Oh, man.
I had to put them away pretty wet this morning.
We're starting to get some bear move into southeast Kansas.
They're coming from over here.
You guys are running them
So
away.
many houses being built, they just have to move west.
That's true.
We got them, and we got quite a few mountain lions are now. sticking in the
Okay.
area.
Oh, those are beautiful to see in the wild too.
Yeah, that gets your attention too. But
Yeah, they do. Don't turn your back on
there
them.
was one that she was sort of nestled up and under a little cliff face. The rock had just a little ledge in it, and she was probably about 8 foot up in that little ledge. And when I saw her, and I got a pretty good picture of that. Then there were some kids that were hunting the other night, and their dogs were going crazy, and they look up in a tree, and there's a mountain lion up in that tree. Dogs had treated it.
Nice.
So they were shining their lights on it, and it was trying to hide from them. And then we got a couple of panthers too. There's a lady that lives down, good friends with my wife, and she has a farm about 7-8 miles from here. And there's a panther that lives on the corner of her farm.
Nice.
So, yeah, as long as they leave the cows alone.
Yeah, cows, chickens.
Yes.
Goats.
Dogs, cats.
Yeah, dogs, cats.
Oh, me. Well, we got Ken. He just popped in with a comment. He just got in from doing some electrical work. His daughter just got her a house, and they're doing some maintenance. And
Nice.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's good.
I've been loving his videos lately. They've been really good.
Me too. Yeah.
Bringing back some memories too, because that Puget Sound area, I used to live there when I was a child. So, because my dad was in the Navy, and so we
Hung around Bremerton a lot.
Yep. So what did your dad do in the Navy, Bika?
He taught electronics.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Started out working on seaplanes. I don't know if you remember seaplanes.
Yes.
I have some good footage from this last weekend of them.
Yeah, I had to land on the water, and then the ships would pick them up with a big crane and put them on board. And he used to work on those. So, and then ended up teaching in a classroom electronics.
Wow. Well, when I first went in, I was in the Air Force, and I was electronics technician in the Air Force. And the system that we were working on, it was a communication system that we got from the Navy, and then we used it in the missile sites. So we had the big Titan II intercontinental ballistic missiles that I worked on, and I didn't like it. I didn't like working around this thing. But this radio system, it was designed because the Navy used it in the submarines. So it would crawl across the top, the signal would crawl across the top of the water, and they would float antenna up, and they could communicate that way. And for us, we would use it in the event of a nuclear war. It was designed to crawl on the ground so that you get underneath all the mess in the sky. So it was not. I didn't like working on that system. I didn't like working around those things.
Anywhere near it.
Yeah, they were huge, and it was what they used to launch the Gemini space capsules into the space. So
yeah, I don't think I'd want to be around those either.
It was 110 feet tall. It was a big rocket. It was all underground, and but then I switched to the Army, and they told me I raised the average IQ of both services with one move. Dragging the Air Force down. And it didn't take a whole lot in the Army when I was in. So soldiers today are so much smarter than I was when we went in. So well, so any excitement coming up, Tony? You got any plans coming up?
I should have a video of this trip coming up for the end of the week, I think. If I can get all the footage from all 3 cameras together and do that.
Yeah. What kind of editing do you use? Editing software?
Adobe Premiere, I believe.
Okay. All right.
Premiere Elements, something like that. It works pretty good. I'm easy enough to combine and edit and do all the stuff I need to.
Yeah.
And I like easy.
Easy is good.
Y'all, I gotta go. Sorry, my son's calling me.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Thanks for joining. We're going to shut down here real quick too, but thanks for joining.
Okay.
It's great to see you.
Good to see y'all too.
Later, Bika.
All right. Bye.
Later.
Oh, me.
All she's got to do now is figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
It's easy on accident.
yeah, she did that good. Oh, me. So there she goes. All right. Well, what? Yeah, you got this coming up. Is this just from some of your hiking in the area, or?
No, this last one was a canoe trip I did.
Yeah. All right.
I know we got some other stuff coming up. Probably not till next week, I imagine. We want to go do some rock hounding while I'm up here.
Yeah. I always enjoy that. I always enjoy with your polishing too. You got anything in the works right now?
A bunch of stuff I got from Al Schaaf. He sent from Newfoundland over, and I'm polishing those up.
Really?
Yeah. I got a couple more stages to go on them, but they're looking really good.
Okay.
That, and of course, I'm always polishing some quartz that I found down in Arizona.
Yeah.
And we did a trip a couple of weeks ago, and I didn't even take the camera on it.
Oh, okay.
But next time I go out that area, I will, because the creek we're hiking up and down is pretty beautiful.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Got to put the miles in to find the rocks.
Yeah, and and I need to do something like that because I need to. I have
Get something to get off your butt a little more often.
I've gotten lazy since I started. I'll go someplace and sit down and just plop for 2 or 3 hours.
Oh, yeah, really. I can do that every time.
Yeah.
Usually it takes me a while to get to that spot, but
well, it does. Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
Then I have no problems parking it, especially if it's a good spot.
I'll get there and the birds fly away and the animals run off.
It takes time for them to come back.
Yep. I just sit, and then pretty soon you'll start hearing them, and then pretty soon they're all around. So
yeah,
that's why I want to get that portable blind. It looks like a tent, looks like a freestanding tent.
Right, like a privy or something.
Sort of, kinda, but it's designed so it's camouflaged, so that you can set it out in the wood, camouflaged from the outside. But like Bika was saying, you can see through the walls all the way around you, and then so you can see stuff. And then it's got these windows that are long and they slide up and down, so you can slide them down. And I guess it really is designed to put your rifle out.
But it can still give you a clear shot without the mesh in the way.
Yeah, right. Because otherwise, if you're shooting through the wall, you'll see the grainy. It's still grainy. Which
I don't think I'd worry about with a gun so much as the camera.
Well, true. It might have a few holes.
It might have a few holes in it from that, but no, I need it nice and clear for the camera.
Yep. Oh, Ken's got to catch up on your videos, he says. So that'll be good. It's hard, that's the hard thing for me, is to keep caught up.
There's a few people that no matter what, I'm going to watch it when they pop it out.
Yep.
Then usually that's in the hiking community.
Yep.
Because I like to see the places I don't know if I'll make it to.
And that's what I like. I like yours. I always watch them. I watch Ken's when he's putting something out. There's a handful that I do like to see. I like John's because I just like to laugh.
That's a good reason as any.
and Cool Quest, I think they've popped off now, but I like theirs. They're full of energy, and they do a lot of four-wheeling too. They take their Subaru out in some places.
I like four-wheeling too. That's why I own the Jeep.
Yeah. Oh my. Yeah, I'm gonna need to do something different. My little CRV won't. It's a two-wheeler, so it's not gonna. It
won't get you to every spot.
No, it is. It's high enough off the ground that I can get to a lot of places, and it's front-wheel drive, and that helps. But
that helps a lot. At least going down the gravel roads and the small or larger trails, stuff like that, you can manage no problem.
Yeah. My brother Rick and I, when we went out to the Wind River Range, that road, the last 4 miles to get to the trailhead is terrible. It takes about 4 hours to do that last 4 miles, 3.5, 4 miles.
I have no doubt. I've done some pretty wicked trails down in the desert, and I know it can take some time. Yep. It's like I filmed the whole thing, but then I just speed it up because, boy, nobody wants to watch this in slow-mo.
Yeah. Oh, no. Well, next week I'll be back again. If you're around, I'll be back again, and then I'm going to be gone for a couple of weeks because I'm going to I'll be out in Colorado and then New Mexico and doing a few things out there. So.
No, I can't wait to get back into that area.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to getting to Utah. I've never been to Utah. Ever.
Oh, you're gonna love Utah. I don't care where you go, you're gonna love it.
Oh, yeah, I'm excited. I
was excited to go to Kansas, even though there's nothing to see forever. But I got to see it,
You got to see it. Yeah, it's interesting. There's over here where I live, you've got two. It's not mountain ranges, but they're hill ranges. So you got the Chautauqua Hills, and then you've got the Flint Hills, and it's just pretty rolling hill country, and it makes you think of Ireland because especially April, the green grass, the prairie grass, it's just emerald green.
Barren. Yeah, I was over by Liberty, clear on the other side of the state from you.
Yeah, I was through there last week.
Yeah. Not much to see but grass. And the farmlands, of course, are always cool to see.
They are.
Especially, I drive with my satellite radar going in the Jeep, and I'll see something on that, and it's like, all right, we're turning off here. We're gonna go look at this farm, stuff like that. And even when I drove from there to Oklahoma City and back, that was a long day, but that was pretty interesting because the further east you got, the more hills there were, trees, everything.
Yep. It's really a difference around Wichita. Around Wichita,
Yeah.
it starts to really shift. And now, where you were at Liberty in that area, there's the Smoky Hills and Smoky Hill River cuts through
Yeah.
there, and that used to be an old bomb range during World War II.
Mm.
They would fly up that river and they would drop bombs all along that place.
Well, they should have been doing that when I was there. That'd been cool.
Now people live there. Back in those
Oh,
days,
yeah, there's always that.
they kill a few pronghorn deer, and that'd be about it. But, yeah, it's fun. Well, Tony, I think we're going to have to shut her down.
Sounds good.
But I do appreciate it. Yeah,
I'm just glad I got home in time.
Yeah, it's good to have you. It's good to see your beard coming back in.
It's only a couple days.
I don't think it was your last video. It was the one before that. When I turned it on, I'm thinking, well, who's Tony got on here with him? And it was Tony. So,
yeah, I get hot, and that's first thing goes the beard, and then the head, and
yeah. Huh. All righty. Well, I'll let you go tonight, and then if you're around next week, we'd love to have you back, and we'll do this thing again.
I hope to catch you next week, and be well, everybody.
Take care, everybody.